I went to Korea one time and sent the same email. Hey, I'm looking to do some technical sparring.
All
give
in caps.
exposure to the gym, and then
mail them that word.
I got there and shook his hand, and he's a nice guy and everything, and he's like, yeah, I've watched your videos. You spar hard, eh? I'm like, no, you're like,
you watched the wrong video.
You watched the wrong video.
Yeah.
You're trying to pull one up. You're like, hold on.
I just want to make it clear that I want to do technical sparring, light technical sparring. And then he turns around and speaks to the fighters, and he's like, he speaks in Korea.
Yeah.
Not Korea, in Korean. And I'm assuming that he said like, oh, he wants to spar light, but I don't know what he said. Yeah. But they all
kill him.
They'll try to kill you, right?
Yeah. The two first guys were really hard, but yeah.
Man, that's so funny.
And well, what I'm interested in as well is we kind of touched on this, but you know, we're kind of in regards to getting exposure to other martial arts is only either through, you know, either YouTube or through, again, people either we know that we can talk to or the few times we have gotten to train. But, you know, speaking to someone who is one in the pro MMA space, both training and taking part in, but also I'm sure.
Yeah. What thing you fight on? Is it one? Is it
one championship?
One champ?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Is, you know, just getting a kind of a bird's eye view into the perception and possibly the, you know, how perception of traditional martial arts in kind of those circles or in people that you know or in those spaces, and also if there is any people adhering to those or with traditional backgrounds, or it is more kind of MMA, like kung fu and traditional stuff doesn't really work. Like I'm interested in like the perception of the circles that you're in, of people who either fight professionally, go to MMA gyms or like that. Because of course we have our perceptions as well of what we kind of also think MMA guys are like, and you know, trying to bridge that gap I think is important.
You don't know.
I think
if that makes sense.
General, I think if I'm understanding well, generally most people think traditional martial arts are not ineffective for the most part. I think karate is the first traditional martial arts that proved themselves.
Sure.
And I hope that with UFC booming in China, having UFC champion, and just more UFC fighters from China, more Sanda fighters and more fighters will come on. Hopefully that's the next martial arts will be Kung Fu. But I would say karate is the first that kind of like came out. Whereas before that, karate also sucked. You know, it was just Muay Thai, just wrestling and BJJ. When you think of MMA, Muay Thai and BJJ, that's it. But it's funny, back then, BJJ was the almighty martial arts. You have BJJ, you're going to win. Because the Gracies came in, nobody knew jiu-jitsu, they fucked everyone up.
Yeah, until Sakuraba came around.
Now, BJJ is actually less effective. And it's now becoming no-gi or just grappling and sport jiu-jitsu.
Because they've had to evolve to like combat jiu-jitsu, right? To kind of bridge that gap a little bit.
But
open
nowadays
palm.
you hear this all the time. I teach this myself. If I'm on the bottom, I'm not trying to submit you. I'm trying to scramble up to my feet. You take me down, I'm going to just scramble and get back up. I'm not going to even try to stay on the ground. Unless you're like a legend in jiu-jitsu. Unless you're like Paul Miao or something. But even if you're a black belt, you hit once, you're a brown belt. You hit again, you're purple belt. You hit again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and nowadays, is like people realize that jiu-jitsu is great, but you got to mix it up with everything else. If you do just jiu-jitsu, it's
there seems to be I don't want to make this phrase something, but I feel like, you know, the kind of more of that you know, that like what I feel like is heard is like the blue belt mentality of where it's like jiu-jitsu's fucking the shit, and then it's just like, and they're like you know, striking, you're gonna die, and then they come in and there is that, I think, I'm sure it kind of goes both ways with both just striking and just grappling, of like there is a middle ground of kind of what you need. And that's why people, you know, will cross train and things like that. And that's also why, again, with what we do, you know, there is such a nice holistic approach to it, where basically outside of strict ground game jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, pretty much everything else is in there. I mean, you know, aspects of judo, wrestling, sweeps, throws, what is it? China, which all small joint locking, wrist, elbows, pressure points, you know, all of that stuff is all, and it all kind of fits into one package where, again, it's not like go to your jiu-jitsu coach, go to this coach. It's like, all right, we're going to start out wide and then we're going to move right into clinch work. You're going to sweep them, you're going to dump them, you're going to break their wrist, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And it's kind of this one holistic package where, so I think it's cool to see that it's kind of goes both ways, where, like you're saying with jiu-jitsu, where it's kind of moving back, it's kind of recalibrating to moving from Gracie jiu-jitsu back to like, okay, let's settle down a little bit, where, because you've always said too, you're like, yeah, listen, like jiu-jitsu is great, but like if we're fighting on concrete and I dump you on your head, you're like, you're not You're gonna be unconscious.
Pull down, bro. Yeah. You pull guard on this broken glass real quick, you know.
I believe that all martial arts need other martial arts, and again, MMA used to be Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but now I'm like, if you look at my channel right now or just watch me spar in general, most people are like, you started with Muay Thai? Because
yes, matter of fact, and I was mentioning it to him because we do like fight commentary on the side when watching students spar, and I'm like, dude, he moves almost like us. Like you're switching the way you were doing the karate stances and your footwork and stuff like that. I was like, he couldn't just spar with Muay Thai. He had to do something else.
Because your stance is not really traditional.
I've changed it.
I've seen you. You know, you get into that little bit when you start to lift the knee and you start to check and stuff. And I'm like, that's a little bit of the Muay Thai. That's
no, I did that only because it was kicks only.
Yeah.
When it was kicks only, I did that.
Oh, okay.
Once there's hands, I choose the wider stance. I choose footwork, and the reason why. Sorry, I didn't move away from Muay Thai, but the reason why I moved away from Muay Thai footwork is because it's non-existent.
It's stationary.
It's too stationary, and I don't like to stand and bang.
Right.